I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and this is Equal Entertainment. Bob Barker, the former longtime host of The Price is Right, has died at age 99. He hosted the game show for 35 years until his retirement in 2007. Barker began his career hosting Truth or Consequences from 1956 to 1974. He earned 19 Daytime Emmys and a Lifetime Achievement Award. He's also in the Television Academy's Hall of Fame. He famously ended each of his shows with the phrase, "Remember to have your pets spayed or neutered." A New York man is now charged with stalking Drew Barrymore after rushing the stage at a recent event. Police say 43-year-old Chad Bustow was taken into custody trying to enter private driveways near Barrymore's Long Island home. They say Bustow told residents he was looking for Barrymore's house. Earlier this month, Barrymore and Renee Rapp were talking on stage at an event when a man started walking toward the stage. Security intervened and Barrymore was not hurt. Police believe it is the same man. Dylan Mulvaney says she's going to have a beer after winning the 2023 Streamy Awards. Mulvaney won the Breakout Creator of the Year award. She said her life has been changed for the better since the Bud Light incident. But she also said there's been an extreme amount of transphobia and hate. The trans advocate has become a target of hate since cracking open a can of Bud Light beer with her face on it back in May. The collab led to a boycott of the brand. Elton John is recovering at home after a fall in his villa in France. The superstar was hospitalized over the weekend, but he was released after being monitored overnight. In 2021, the Rocket Man singer postponed tour dates after a hard fall that injured his hip and required surgery. He said he'd been advised to have surgery as soon as possible. MGM is calling the new queer movie Bottoms a success despite a limited release on just 10 screens. Bottoms made over $500,000 in its opening weekend, which is an average of $52,000 per theater. That's big for an indie film, especially one with two lesbian lead characters. Bottoms had a budget of just over $11 million. By comparison, the Oscar-winning movie Everything Everywhere All at Once only made $50,000 at 10 locations when it opened. Bottoms expands to 700 screens in its second weekend. The new documentary, Everybody, explores the lives of intersex people. The film follows champions of the intersex rights movement who are intersex themselves, and they shared with me why their visibility is essential. Yes, would you please share what it means to you to be able to share your story and to, well, first off, to just speak your story out loud on this platform, and then also to have the ripple effect of audiences being able to see intersex people, being able to say, I now know intersex people, and maybe shift some of the preconceptions of maybe what they thought, or maybe they didn't think about it at all.
Yeah, I think the first thing that came to mind is there's a couple of things. One, I think I have had my fair share of media opportunities, and I think often what happens is that it's kind of shown in the two-dimensional way. And I feel that in this film, there was like a more complex story on my part shown, right? Like there are pictures of my parents, there are pictures of like my family, right? And I think I have shared more deeply and more vulnerably in this medium than I have in probably any other medium, to be honest, that has been captured like that. So I think that's one thing. And I think the other is that people are going to see my naked body. Of course, it's art, but it's nude, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's another level of like physical vulnerability, because I think it's often, intersex people shouldn't have to talk about their body, shouldn't have to talk about their genitals, but people are just getting a full view, right? And so I think for me, what feels most important and what I've said is that I hope that people come to this film with curiosity, not only about the content, but about themselves, about what they've learned, what they've internalized around biological sex and gender. Because I think, especially in this current political and historical moment, it's more vital than ever.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And Alicia, would you talk about what it has meant to you to be a part of this project and to be able to tell your story on this, pretty incredible platform?
Similarly to SIFA, this is a more comprehensive platform than we are often given. Given that I'm an activist primarily in the political space, I'm used to having to stick to a 2-minute time limit for legislative testimony. And intersex is a hard concept to reduce to 2 minutes. We have often found ourselves and each other through social media as intersex people because there's so little broader media representation, or we're told so little by our parents or by doctors about our identity. And even social media reduces us to just like a caption or whatever the real time limit is for an Instagram reel. I think it's like 90 seconds or something like that. So just being able to delve into the issue in greater complexity, I think is huge. Also, given that we're speaking to the advocate, and I know that we have a primarily queer community that's listening to us, I think it's been hard, not just even in broader society, but even within the queer community to get that intersex inclusion. And I think this way, it's like, okay, we've had to rob the mic at different, at least I have, at different, queer galas, or I've had to step in at queer rallies and make myself heard. When we're not granted a seat at the table, we have to take that seat. But now this is a pretty easy platform for people. They have a nice cushy seat in a movie theater that they can sit their butt in on or after June 30th and, enjoy what is not only a jarring experience, but also a joyful experience because of the way that Julie made the movie. And so I would just encourage folks to treat it like any other, movie date or experience, and don't think that you're just gonna leave like feeling bad about yourself or bad about the world. Like you're probably gonna come out feeling pretty inspired and hopefully joyful too. So yeah, I think I'm grateful to have a broader platform than we've ever been given, and one that enables us to explore that nuance of not just the trauma and the pain, but the joy as well.
Well, thank you very much. And you anticipated at least 2 of my questions, but I will go back to them. So very well done. And then River, a little off topic. I think you know my friend Allison Tate.
I do.
Yeah, Allison's great. I know that you worked together on a project a few years ago when Allison was working on our video team, but I wonder, pretty much the same question for you. What's this journey been like for you to be able to share your story in this way?
Yeah, first, thank you for bringing up Allison, and I just want to say thank you to the Advocate, because the Advocate has always been a supporter of my work as a filmmaker, and has always, I think, been uplifting intersex voices more so than other queer publications. So thank you for supporting my film Pony Boy, and for supporting me as a filmmaker.
Yeah.
To me, the movie is still currently a beautiful opportunity for me to, it's so funny, some friends asked me, like, how do you feel about the documentary? I'm like, so many things. Like, I feel conflicting things about it. I'm so excited for what this means for the movement. But me personally, though, there are certain things that I talk about in the documentary, or we're talking about right now, that I'm still in the process of figuring out myself. I'm still actively engaged in the conversation of what it means for me to be an out intersex person, what it means to be a non-binary and trans femme person in this body, in this world, in this time period, and how on one hand it could look like very shiny and polished, like the fact that there's a documentary about my life and I seem inspiring and powerful, which I am those things, but also I'm so insecure about who I am as well, and completely anxious, and I have to actively engage with my community and engage with my loved ones and my family and friends to take me out of those anxious spaces. And so my deepest hope of this movie is for people to understand that we're all still in process. We're all still in a way coming out from many different things. And it's a lifelong journey, and it's one that I'm so grateful to have this kind of huge milestone as both an artist, but also just as a human who some documentary maker decided to choose to make a documentary about my life. It's just like, wait, that doesn't make sense at all. But also it's like, wait a minute, our lives as intersex activists are so worthy and deserving of being celebrated, of having a platform like this, and of people listening and seeing us.
You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.